Hey, what's going on, YouTube? This is your certified life and relationship coach, Coach Court. And in this video, we're going to be talking about when a dismissive avoidant texts you during no contact. Thank you for sticking around. If this is your first time viewing me, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel by clicking that subscribe button and ringing that little bell so you're notified for the newest content. If you guys are part of the YouTube membership program, please don't forget to reach out to me for your monthly coaching. If you are interested in one-on-one coaching, go to my website at www.fruitfulseeds.com. And if you are interested in healing yourself after a breakup, please go to my website also and check out my new course that I created for anxious attachment healing after a breakup. In this video, I'm going to be talking to you about how to communicate with a dismissive avoidant if they text you while you're in no contact. Now, this is given a context that you may have broken up with them or they've broken up with you and you went into no contact. And if you're not familiar with what no contact is, it is the rule where you go into not communicating with that person throughout a certain time frame. So most no contact they tell you to do for 30 days. But when you're dealing with a dismissive, it takes a little bit more time for them to process their emotions and understand where they're at emotionally. So for them, we usually recommend between 6 weeks to 8 weeks, maybe even 3 months. Sometimes it takes a while for them to really process it. And especially if it was a breakup where they were extremely angry, there were some hurt words being said, and you were just it was a messy breakup. I'll just put it that way. So if that's the case and they decide to, break no contact for whatever reason, the first thing that you want to do, and I know a lot of coaches teach this, they say, if you're in no contact, it's no contact, don't respond, but you need to respond. Whatever the message is, make sure that you receive it. I'm not saying that you need to receive it right away. Certainly you're not somebody's puppet where you can just, be at their beck and call, but you want to make sure that you do answer the text message. If they are inquiring about your life, spin it back on them. Inquire about their life as well, because you know how I said in many videos, if you are in contact with or if you're in a relationship with a dismissive, even you want to make sure that you show them support. That's the one thing that they really crave, and that's one of their needs in a relationship, is to feel like they're supported, they're understood, and that they're cared for. So be sure that you inquire about their well-being, how they're doing, how the parents doing. If you guys were in a long-term relationship, that's a really good sign. I often see it's more likely for a dismissive to break no contact with you first if you were in a long relationship. Now, this is just based on the people that I've worked with in the past. So it's not a guarantee, but if it was a short-term relationship, the likelihood of them reaching back out to you is pretty slim, because they most likely have came to the decision early on that this person isn't my person. Like, I don't see myself going long term with this person, and they're not the one, because they typically have this idea of what a relationship should look like, but it's very idealized and it's not the real thing, because relationships have issues and they have struggles. They tend to not think that. So if you were in a long-term relationship with them and you guys haven't had many breakups and you guys were getting along pretty well, because I typically see most relationships with a dismissive, they'll have some off and on again dynamics going on there where they'll break up maybe once or twice and get back together once that person was able to calm down. Because I talk to people about this all the time. The thing that people struggle with the most when they're dealing with a love avoidant is they can often come across as very immature. And what do immature people do? Sometimes they throw temper tantrums. They have a hard time processing their emotions. They have a hard time dealing with difficult situations. When you're in that dynamic, it's really hard to see clearly. But I have seen over the long-term relationships, they are more willing to come towards you because you've built that bond and you built that connection with each other. And I know people think that dismissives don't want relationships at all, but that's not true. They want that connectedness. They want that companionship with someone. They just don't typically want to do the work. And like I say, they'll just cut the fat and don't want to deal with the relationship anymore because it's just not a high priority on their list. Once you're back in contact with them, you want to make sure that you're not texting for too long, because it's just going to bore them. It's going to make them feel rejected, like maybe he doesn't or she doesn't want this relationship again. So they'll just fade away and you'll be right back in no contact again. So you want to make sure that you get them in person, or get some type of meetup with them. If you guys are, rolling into this whole situationship we got going on here in the US, you might not be able to meet up with them in person. You may be in another lockdown. You may be struggling with something like that. So if you can get them on a Zoom call or WhatsApp or whatever type of meetup app you can get on with them, or you can have that face to face with them, then I recommend doing that, because I often say that the magic happens in person. You can't build a bond with somebody over text message. So I don't care what your attachment style is. If you aren't able to see a person in person, pick up on the body language, pick up on how they're acting, you most likely will come across as dry. Or I see when a lot of my clients are texting people, they come across as very eager, overly pleasy. They put a little bit too much into it, and it makes the person think, all right, this person clearly wants me back. They haven't taken the time to really, heal or go through whatever they need to go through after the breakup. So it's kind of a turnoff. And then they can think, all right, I can always come back to this person when I want to, which lets them have their cake and eat it too. And you don't want that. That's not what you want. But you do want to be able to find out what their intentions are and what their level of commitment is before you continue to text them or put too much time and effort into the text dialogue. I had a client tell me once that he had an avoidant reach out to him after about a month, which, to be honest, it's pretty rare if they do decide to reach out to you. And he sat there and continued to text her. He didn't set a date. He didn't meet up with her. And after about 2 or 3 days, she ghosted on him. I said, well, you should have been texting her that much. What you should have been doing was, if she reach out to you, you send her something like, you respond, you send her like something, whatever, funny, like an inside joke or something. And then you let about 2 or 3 days go by and then reach out to her first again. It's just like playing a long game of tennis. And the objections that I get from people is like, I'm not going to keep playing these games with them. But if you guys have went through a breakup, you don't get back together very, very often, so you should be happy that you're even getting this opportunity to get back in this relationship again. Because, I don't care what your attachment style is. Most relationships don't reconcile. So if you are getting an opportunity to have this, take it for what it is. If you've done the healing work on yourself, then it should be a testament and a good challenge for you to figure out where you're at mentally still. So if you found this video of any value, please like, comment, and share. Reach out to me on my other social media accounts, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, as I am Coach Court. If you want coaching from me, reach out to me on my website at www.fruitfulseeds.com. Thank you guys. Now I'll talk to you soon.